All right, guys. I teased you with it yesterday, so here's part two of my buy, sell, keep, and avoid. Ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, welcome to FFTV Premier League and the second part of my buy, sell, keep, and avoid selections for game week 7. And while I'm here, and I've got to point you in this direction because the offer we've got on with Fantasy Football Hub, there's a offer where they will give you refund you all your subscription for the whole year if you don't finish top of your mini league, and that offer runs out at the deadline of this game week. So game week 7, so 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, this offer runs out. So please make sure you have jumped on board. Um, the links are in the description down below, but please make sure you do sign up for the 7-day free trial. And if you do want to take advantage of that offer, you've got until 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, Saturday the 30th, to make sure that you signed up by then, and then you will get a full refund if you don't finish top of your mini league. So that offer runs out, like I said, at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Make sure you do go on there. I'm just going to quickly show you a couple of bits from there. So what my team rating is for this week and what their suggestions are for the changes. So just quick. So here we go. If you go into the Fantasy Football Hub and you go to your My Team section, this is my team at the moment. I've not made any changes for this game week, but this is my team as it stands. And what you've got is at the bottom, you've got an Optimize My Team tool or Optimize Team tool. So if we click on that, we'll see what their suggestions are. Right, so they give me a team rating of 91. I was 93, sorry. I should have shown you that beforehand. It was 93% before they made these changes. The game week rating for this week is 79%. The changes they seem to have made is they've put Gabriel in my back three instead of Conser. I'm not sure if I agree with that, to be honest. I may overrule that one. But Madison looks hopeful, and I think Botman will be available tomorrow. I'm going to pop him in, and if at worst case scenario, I may still swap around Gabriel and Konsa. But yeah, worst case scenario, if Botman doesn't play, Gabriel will be my first sub and he'll replace him. In terms of Madison, I haven't got really that much space to move with, but it looks like I'm hopeful that he will play this weekend, and they've got Liverpool tomorrow evening. I think it's a 5:30 kickoff. So yeah, going back to game week 7. So let's go into my results from last week's buy, sell, keep, avoid. I keep forgetting what it is, and it's written on the bottom of my screen, by the way, as you can see. So let me add this to the stage, and you will see how I ended up last week. I had a good and bad results here. So technically, it's 16 predictions here, and I got, and in the white are the ones I got right, basically. Yeah. So my tips to buy were Alvarez, who only returned 1 point last week. Botman, who returned a stellar 12 points, as you can see. Diaby only returned 3, and Mbuemo only returned 1 point. So I only got 1 out of 4 on my buys. Going over to my avoids, and we'll section them separately. So buy and avoid are for your ins, so for your player ins, and your keep and sell are for your player outs. Okay, so on the avoid, I even though I played Onana myself in rotation, turned around and put Onana in, I told you to avoid buying him. If you've already got him, obviously play him, but this is to avoid buying him. Lamptey I was spot on with. He came on as a sub, but I pretty much knew that Estupinian was going to replace him. Matoma was a big one. But just to say, he was in my team. I didn't have enough transfers to get rid of him, and a good job I didn't, because I probably would have swapped him out for Diaby. But he got 14 points, and Isak came on as a sub, I believe, and got 5 points in that 8-0 win over Sheffield United. Going over to my keeps, so Rashford, who was in my team as well, and I made a mistake between switching out Rashford for Salah rather than no, I switched out Saka for Salah rather than Rashford. But hopefully he's going to pay back this week because Saka is looking doubtful for this weekend. So Rashford got 3 points. Estupinan, I told you to keep, did manage 6 points. Told you to come back in. Turner just got 1 point. I left him on my bench, and Matty Cash got 6 points for Aston Villa in their win. And over to the South section, spot on. Ramsdale, he's not their first choice keeper anymore. Simple as that. Raya is. Chilwell, oh, I think he's trolling all these FPLers. I'm so glad I got him out. So I swapped out, transferred out Chilwell for Botman, and you can see the difference. But Chilwell came on as a late sub and he got booked, so he returned 0 points. Fernandez was a big one I got wrong. Well, it's bound to provide something sooner or later. I was hoping it would be Rashford, but one of the two anyway. Fernandez scored that cracking volley that got them the win over Burnley, I believe it was. And Jackson, oh, sorry, Miss Jackson. If anybody's even contemplating bringing him back in after his suspension, so he did pick up his 5th booking. And again, for dissent, it's not for bad tackles, it's for dissent. And he really needs to come out of his game, but he's been awful in front of goal. So this is the excuse to get him out of your team if you haven't done so already. I don't know why so many of the experts decided to hold on to him. They bought him in early and decided to hold on to him. It's absolute stubbornness because he couldn't hit a barn door, mate. So he is suspended for this game week. And if I were you, I would not even contemplate bringing him back in. So there were my results for last week's recommendations. Let's go into, well, we've gone through the first 2 parts yesterday, but I'll just quickly flick through them. So my avoids for this week are Leno. If you've already got him in, obviously keep him in. But I didn't like his, so my stipulation with Leno is I like his next 2 games, and unless you're making using your wild card in game week 9, I don't like his fixture or Fulham's fixtures after the international break, so I wouldn't bring him in then. Botman is an injury doubt. I think he'll play personally, so that's the only reason I've put him in the avoid of, although he's one of the most highly bought in players this window. It turns out actually this game week, turns out actually Trippier I think is leading it, but now, so the curse may end this week. You never know. And Anthony Gordon, purely based on him being on 4 yellow cards and being a bit of a hothead, I'd rather he got it out of the way, and then I'd like him in my team. I think he's nailed on at the moment with Harvey Barnes' injury. And Calvert-Lewin, I'd have to give him at least 3 or 4 games, consistent games. Hopefully 90 minutes as well. He only came on as a sub in their win last weekend. I just won't be jumping on him just yet because of his injury record. And then we got the keep section. So I said I'd hold on to Onana for a few more weeks. They've got their fixtures are decent for the next 2. And then you've got Robertson, who a lot of people were selling, about over 30,000 FPL owners are selling. I think he's the most nailed on Liverpool defender that we got. So I definitely look to keep him. And Buemo facing my beloved Nottingham Forest this weekend. I will keep him for 1 more week and see what happens. And Alvarez, I don't know why, after 1 blank last week, got over 100,000 FPL managers have taken him out. He's still the best second striker in this league, and he's playing obviously with the best striker in Erling Haaland. So there's my keep recommendations for game week 7. Let's go on to my buy recommendations for game week 7. Now, we'll start with Nottingham Forest goalkeeper Turner. Several reasons, and this may change. We'll find out in the next international break, because my theory is that the manager Steve Cooper, who's bought in Vlachodimos from where's he bought? I can't remember which league he was bought from. Anyway, he's been bought in, and he will clearly be our number 1 goalkeeper at some point. It's just up to when Cooper makes that change, and my theory is he'll make this change after the next international break. So I think Turner will get a couple more games, but if not, he's a really he's a really great asset for 4 million, and I wouldn't be spending more than 4.5 million on the goalkeepers. I just don't think there's enough value in the goalkeepers this year to be spending big money on them. So he rotates really well with Areola as well, which is a player that I'd be looking at if I was wildcarding now. I'd probably look at them two as my goalkeepers. Matty Cash, before his price rises, I think he's worth bringing in. Leon Bailey's injured as well, so I can see him getting a lot more of an attacking role in this Aston Villa side. Also, see their fixtures as well. So they've got a good run of fixtures. He's a good one to hold on to for a few weeks. And for me, if you can't, the whole debate with this, for those wanting to use their wild cards in game week 9, 10 onwards, is to get Salah in. Now, for those of you who've already used your wild card and haven't got Salah in, I think the next best option in midfield is got to be Son, Heung-min Son. You've got to look at his return in the last 3 game weeks since he's been played as a striker, and he's returned 5 goals. He had a blank against Sheffield United, but scored against Arsenal, and in the previous game as well, he scored a hat trick. So definitely one that if you can get him, and I'd definitely be looking to get him in. And I haven't used my wild card yet. I haven't got Son in, but I have got Salah in. I'm looking for a way to try and get Son into my team. And Darwin Núñez needs to still establish that he gets enough game time, but he seems to be finding the back of the net and getting that game time at the moment. So if he's a fixture, he's a really good alternative or a differential from those using how we've got Alvarez in their team and Watkins. So Núñez is a really good differential. I'd be looking to buy him if you're looking for a change. And if you've sold Alvarez, and I'd probably get Núñez in, although I wouldn't have sold Alvarez. And my sells, Luke Steele at Brighton. Eventually he's going to be replaced, but I don't like their fixtures. And their run of fixtures coming up are really brutal. So I think he'd be one that I'd be looking to sell, and I'd probably be downgraded. I mean, you can get Areola for 4.2 million, so I'd probably downgrade him. Or even though I've said it wouldn't buy Leno, it gives you a little bit of money. If you've got the extra point free, then possibly have a look at Leno. But I would be actually downgrading in terms of price wise, and I'd be looking for Areola or Turner if you're going to sell Luke Steele. And Malagusto, unfortunately, got himself a red card, which I think it means misses. It was a straight red. Well, it was a straight red card eventually. I think it means he misses 3 games. Personally, I don't back in anyway once international break is over. So I wouldn't. I think he's done his bit. Unfortunately, Dino massively jinxed him on our last Super Sunday show, last Sunday, and yeah, as he was watching this, I knew this is the best player I've ever seen, and he absolutely jinxed him. He ended up getting a red card and getting sent off. So obviously, he's not part of the team for the next few weeks. I'd sell him as soon as I can before his price drops any further. Eberiche Eze, but really one of my favorite players, but he's just not done it. I think he's missing Elise far too much, and for him to be not returning what he should have been returning by now, he's a key player. We've got Odson Edward out as well, which is my next player. It has been confirmed he won't be playing this weekend, so sell on those players for me. As soon as you can. So let me go back. So guys, I hope you got some benefit out of part 2. I hope I didn't tease you too much, but please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please leave a like if you could be so kind. Hit the notifications button because we have got our what is it? Super Saturday, sorry, Super Saturday show tomorrow. Where we'll be having 4 or 5 guests with us, and we're hoping to cover the 6 kickoffs at 3 o'clock tomorrow. So please join us for that. Show kicks off at 2:40 tomorrow. So make sure you are subscribed to this channel, the FFTV Premier League channel, and to FFTV the High Press. They're the 2 places we'll be streaming our shows, our weekend shows from now on. So please make sure you do hit a like on your way out. Thank you for taking part, and leave me a comment on your game week 7 selections in the chat, and I'll get back to you. Thank you for taking part. See you later, guys.